quite frank, there is no official data on what's going on with the migrant population ahead of the general election. Now, there will be official statistics and official estimate of how many migrants have been added to the population, but they will only come later this year, and that will be long after the general election. And we won't know for sure until the 2021 census, and of course that could be, at least 2 general elections away.
Dominic Casciani speaking to me then. Well, the attitude to immigration affects all migrants, wherever they come from. You can see more on all of this on Inside Out on BBC One tonight. And on that programme, you'll hear from Marius Daniel, who moved from Romania to Northampton 6 months ago.
My first thoughts when I come here in Northampton, I was a bit afraid because I didn't know what to expect.
Marius works in a factory making oak kitchens. He's earning 5 times what he would in Transylvania. He's massively overqualified for this job. A graduate who learned his English watching movies while working as a cinema projectionist. He says people make assumptions about him.
They just judge about how I look and how I'm acting. If I have chances to prove myself, I could show them a lot more. I would like to save some money to build a house. I don't want to loan some money, to take money from banks and pay over 30 years all my life.
Marius Sander then, who moved from Romania to Northampton 6 months ago. You can hear more of his story on BBC One tonight on Inside Out. We're joined now in the studio by Paul Kuznecovs, who's an EU migrant himself, now director of AEP UK Baltic Link, which is a recruitment agency that specialises in foreign workers and is based in Northampton. Morning, Paul. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning.
Are you surprised, then, of the figures for Northamptonshire, the fact that more migrants to Northamptonshire are from non-EU countries? Because that certainly wouldn't be a lot of people's point of view.
No, I'm not really surprised, because Northamptonshire with Northampton is a very diverse and multicultural place. There are lots of high-tech and service companies, like hospitals as well. That's why we see that. So
is there a feeling among EU migrants that they're almost blamed, I suppose, for the population increase?
Let me say this. Immigrant workers are not as bad as some people are trying to portray them. I think it's all like election history again. So after election is done, everything will settle down.
But we say it's elections fever, and part of that could, be put for that. But people always talk about immigration, don't they? It's always a key topic.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, Britain is historically is very multicultural and diverse nation. We are made of immigrants.
Let's talk about you, because where did you come from originally then? How long have you been here?
Originally, I'm from Latvia. I came in here in 2001, long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So what's different now as to what it was like when you first came here? What are the attitudes? Have they changed?
Okay, I've got the privilege to be in this country before the European enlargement and after, and things are quite different, I would say. Dynamics are different.
Better?
Yeah, definitely better, and I really enjoy being in here. I love this country, a great country of opportunities.
So how do you feel then when you hear that some political parties want to restrict immigration from the EU?
I'm personally against restrictions. I believe in balanced approach, and I believe that immigration has to be managed. Yeah, but restriction to a degree.
When you talk to, you've presumably still got some family back at home in Latvia. When you talk to them, would you recommend family and friends to come to Britain?
First of all, my family isn't here. I'm quite integrated young man, settled down already in here. But those people who wanted to come to this country, they already came a long time ago.
So let's talk about the work that you do, because you're a recruitment agent and you specialise in people who work from foreign countries originally, but people who are living here. Do you deal with many migrants who've come from non-EU countries?
Not non-EU countries, because you have to deal with work permits and things like that. It's not my field of work. Originally, in 2004, I started working with those people who are coming from abroad, but now everyone is already in here who wanted to come, so there is no need to invite someone from abroad.
And what are the feelings when people come to your agency and they try to find work? What are they most scared about? What kind of jobs do they want to do? What's the general feeling?
My main field is to work with mainly low-skilled workers. Yeah, but sometimes, occasionally, I've got requests for skilled workers, and that's where I see the problems, because there is a big shortage of skilled people in here.
And what about language? Do a lot of people who you recruit out, do they all speak English?
I strongly encourage everyone whose language skills are not as required, would learn language, because it's very important. If you live in England, you speak English language. That's what I did in 2001. As soon as I came in here, my first thing which I did was to open a textbook.
But how easy is it to learn the language when you come? Because presumably, yes, textbooks are good, aren't they? And living here is good, but ultimately, if you need to have lessons, it's expensive, isn't it?
Before there was some help with ESOL language courses. There is not as much as before. Obviously, if we've got some government support in this field, it would help. Every little helps. I think we should encourage people to learn English and integrate into our society.
Okay, Paul, thank you ever so much for coming in. There's more on this story on tonight's Inside Out, BBC One at 7:30.